Hello, and thank you for tuning in. If you like scary movies, trailers, and reviews, or you're like us and you like making predictions about what's going to happen at the end of a horror movie, then subscribe to the Gutted Horror Podcast.
It would really mean a lot to us if you took a second to scroll down, hit that subscribe button, follow us across social media so you don't miss us spill our guts about horror films.
How do you gut someone? Always trust my gut.
Hello, and welcome to Gutted. I'm Aleece.
And I'm Tony, and we're here to spill our guts about horror films. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome! We have another Guess the Ending episode for you, formerly known as a gut reaction.
And we will be discussing 1980s New Year's Evil. Directed by Emmett Alston, this film stars Grant Kramer from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Roz Kelly, who is known as the Fonz's girlfriend, aka Pinky from Happy Days, and Kip Niven from Earthquake.
This is an episode in 4 acts. First, we'll recap the first half of the film, then we'll go over 5 predictions each of what we think will happen in the second half. After watching the second half, we'll return with our prediction results and conclude with our coveted award ceremony.
And if you haven't seen New Year's Evil and want to play along, it is available for free on the Roku channel, Fubo, or MGM Plus. Why are you laughing?
Not what I expected, but it is out there in the streaming world.
We own it. We purchased it a while ago as per usual and have been saving it for a Guess the Ending episode.
Yeah.
For a pertinent time such as New Year's Eve. Watch about 45 minutes, press pause, and come up with some of your own predictions for the ending.
And I would like to give you a New Year's cheer.
New cheers.
I would like to ask a question. What are some of the last times that you have gone outside of your house for New Year's Eve?
I did not know this question was coming. Yeah, we really haven't gone out for New Year's Eve in a while. It's been a while. And one of the last times I remember going out for New Year's was when we were in Idaho and there was a potato drop and we braved the cold temps with our jackets and just watched a giant spud lower from a crane. And the funny thing is that they messed up the first time. They lowered it at like 9:30 p.m.
9:30? We weren't out there at 9:30.
They lowered it at like 11:30 p.m. and we're like, oh, it's going down. And we all started counting. We're like, 10, 9. And then the crane went back up. And we're like, okay, just kidding.
Because you need 2 potato drops.
Well, once
one.
it started dropping, we're like, well, we're going to start counting because the potato said so. But that was fun. I enjoyed the potato drop.
Yeah. You know, I always wanted to go to one of those hotel demolitions they do in Vegas, but I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Did they do those on New Year's Eve?
I think in the 90s, they used to do that quite often.
Wow.
But now Vegas is all built up. Are there any other notable drops that you would like to see?
We once tried to go to a grape drop. And I thought they were going to like lower a single tiny little grape from like the ceiling of a ballroom. And the people told me, they're like, no, they lower something outside. I was like, I don't want to go outside. It's too cold. So I stayed inside. Anyway, what are some drops you want to see?
I told you I want to see a hotel demolition.
You want to see a hotel demo,
Yes.
Hotel drop.
Forget the ball drop in Times Square. I want to see a hotel demolition. All right, let's get into New Year's Evil.
Don't cut off my banter. How dare you?
Enough of that. We have owned this DVD for quite some time. Haven't quite popped it open. We were waiting for this joyous occasion of the new year. And now that it is 2025 going into 2026, what better time to rip off that plastic?
Yeah.
So I had no expectations. I had no idea what this was about. I've seen a lot of other podcasters covering this movie for New Year's because I don't think there are a lot of other New Year's horror movies.
It's kind of got a hold on the market.
Yeah. So it is now our turn
It's our turn, guys. Step aside, other podcasters. We're doing it this year.
And with that said, I am sorry I've not watched any other reviews of this film because
we haven't seen it.
I have no idea what this is about.
Okay, so I had forgotten that we owned it actually until one of our previous episodes. We discussed, with the episode for Zombie 3, there's a character named DJ Blueheart, and he's a DJ in the movie, kind of like telling us what's going on. And I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of Play Misty for Me or The Fog, where there's a DJ as like a salient character. And I briefly mentioned that there's some movie that I thought starred Andrew Dice Clay as a DJ, and then a murderer calls in the station. He has to like try to keep the murder on the line. I really can't remember what this movie was called or who stars in it. I don't really think it's Andrew Dice Clay. He just has that aura.
Or is it just New Year's Evil? Because that sounds a lot like the plot for New Year's Evil.
It does, but it's not. I swear. There's like some movie that I saw back in the 90s. So if anybody listening or watching knows what I'm talking about, there's some shock jock type DJ guy, and he gets a call from a murderer or a crime spreer, and he's got to keep the killer or person on the line before he like does it again. Anyway, I could not find this on IMDb or through the interweb search. So if anybody else knows what I'm talking about, please put it in the comments. I don't know what it is. I can't remember. Anyway, that's why we're doing this episode, because I have a burning desire to find the answer to that question.
So let's watch another movie that it is not.
That it's not. This is not New Year's Evil. We're going to cover New Year's Evil, but I want to know the answer to my other question from all you listeners / watchers out there.
So we have watched the first half of New Year's Evil. If you are playing along, you are going to watch about 45 minutes. Minus the ads on Roku channel or Fubo or whatever.
Fubo or MGM Plus.
MGM Plus.
Yeah.
And then stop.
So this is your spoiler warning for the first half and only the first half of New Year's Evil.
Aleece, what is going on in the first half of this movie?
Okay, in the first half, we open on a like live, work, play, high-rise, sky-rise apartment building.
Because apparently those were popular in that
80s.
time.
Yeah, Poltergeist 3 has one of those.
This was filmed in 1980. And I think Poltergeist 3, I want to say that was like early 90s.
Oh, I thought that was like 87.
Let's look it up. 1988. Early 80s to late 80s, these sort of live, work, play apartment skyscrapers seem to be all the rage.
Yeah, same thing in Gremlins 2, the new batch. That's another live, work, play scenario, skyrise. So this one is in 1980, kind of ahead of its time. New Year's is a few hours away, and Diane, aka Blaze, is our heroine of the movie. She's this cool punk rock radio DJ wearing this like peach Bellini, I don't know, this really colorful, iridescent tube top.
Fiery red hair, fiery red eyebrows.
Fiery red cheeks and blush. Really, really thick red blush along her cheekbone.
And she's getting ready for the big night.
And then enters her son, Derek. He's in a blazer. He's all buttoned up. He has a bouquet of roses. He's like, here, Mom, I brought these for you. She's like, oh, I can't touch them right now. They're going to ruin my nails. And then he's like, wait, Mom, I got the part in the big movie. It's a really good part. She's like, what? Huh? I don't have time for this now. I'm getting ready for my big event. And he's like, oh, well, maybe next time. Maybe I'll see what Dad's doing in Palm Springs.
I saw that and I was thinking, okay, this guy is clearly a suspect. Because anytime you have like a neglected character, they have a motive or reason to wanting to murder.
Yeah, jilted son with his bouquet of roses and mom, absent mother who's all fame hungry, and she's trying to contact her PR assistant, Yvonne.
She's just trying to do her thing. She's trying to make some money, put some bread on the table, you know?
Yeah, those acting lessons aren't free, Derek.
Well, anyways, her PR manager, Yvonne, is the next character we are introduced to. I'm assuming it's her PR manager because later in the movie, Diane says like she's about to release some PR piece or something like that.
Oh, I missed that. Okay, I didn't know who Yvonne was.
At first I thought it was just a friend or just another character. She was really cool. She has like braids with all the beads and she had this white suit. Then she changed into like an orange top.
She had a really cool orange blouse on with like really sharp shoulder pads. She's like milling about in her apartment that's a few floors below Diane where she's getting ready, and she hears a leaky faucet in the bathtub. She turns it off. And then she hears it again. And then when she tries to turn it off again, out pops the grabber and he tries to slice her. And we cut away just before Yvonne gets sliced.
Well, and I remember he was saying, like, how did she not see that person in the shower?
Yeah, but he was clearly in the bathtub, and
Yes.
you just know the bathtub like the back of your hand, and you don't need to look whilst you turn off the faucet. That's what happened.
Yes.
She's been there for a while.
And he's a very quiet and sneaky killer.
He's very sneaky. Yeah. So a couple of things we know. We know that Yvonne is gone. We don't know if she's dead yet. We also know that Dad or Richard or perhaps Diane's lover / husband is in Palm Springs. We know that her son Derek can't get a hold of Dad in Palm Springs. His line is busy.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that Diana's getting ready for the big New Year's Eve, what's called Hollywood Hotline.
Yeah,
the
Hollywood
big event.
Hotline, the big event. So then we cut to a bunch of punks. They're out on the town. They're filling up this convertible. I think there are 9 of them.
There are 9.
Just kind of like hooting and hollering at people down the street and throwing everyone, flipping them the bird. And
they're getting flashed by vans full of other hooligan kids. It's a rowdy night on the town.
It's New Year's Eve.
It's New Year's Eve,
yeah,
and I think they're in LA.
It's in the same hotel / apartment building. Not really sure what this building is. They, so they all pile up there. There's a bunch of other punks there. There's a band.
There's a band called Shadow, and people are supposed to call in with their suggestion of what is the best new wave song of the year. And Diane gets a call from a lady who's like, how about that one about like, we don't need no education. She's like, all right, noted. And then the very next call she gets is this like little Mr. Quacker guy using like a voice modulator. And he's like, hello, my name is Evil. And what shocked me about this moment is that like we see a good portion of this guy's face. I'm like, oh, they're not really hiding this. Like we see this guy's whole side face.
Yeah. And we actually then very quickly after just see the killer.
Yeah, we see him. Like after like this phone call, he like minces about town or he opens up his phone booth and we full on see his face. I'm like, oh, so we know the face of this guy. We just don't quite know his identity yet.
Yeah. And it's Kip Niven.
It's Kip Niven from Earthquake.
And Magnum Force, but I didn't think that you'd seen Magnum Force.
I haven't. I have seen Earthquake. We own Earthquake.
Yeah. Anyways, this guy is a master of disguise, and he is also a master of punctuality.
Yes, he says that every hour for every time zone within the US, he will murder somebody close to Diane.
Yeah, he keeps it cryptic. He doesn't say every hour on the hour, but we figure that out as the movie progresses. But he says that at the stroke of midnight, someone close to you is going to be murdered.
That's right. He does say at the stroke of midnight, someone close to you will be murdered.
And then we later realize, because now we're on a time schedule, so it's like 9 o'clock. And the New York ball has dropped, but we're in LA, so we're still 3 hours away. And the first victim has been murdered. And he carries around this little boombox and he records the screams.
The very first victim that we get, he shows up at the Crawford Sanitarium. And all the patients of the sanitarium are having a great time. They're partying, they're dancing. All the nursing staff, they're also partying and dancing. And then one rogue nurse, Nurse Jane, leaves the party and she runs into Kip Niven, or the Evil, Mr. Evil. And she's like, oh, whoa, what are you doing over here? And he's dressed as an orderly. And he's like, oh, I was called to fill in for so-and-so and I don't know my way around. And he's like, would you mind sharing this bottle of champagne with me? And she very briefly hesitates. And then she's like, what the hey? It's New Year's. Let's go.
All right, random stranger.
Yeah. And they start making out. He turns on his boombox. We can hear the New Year's Eve party at the Hollywood Hotline. And then he hits record. And as the countdown begins for New Year's Eve on the Eastern Coast, he pulls out a blade and stabs poor Nurse Jane to death, recording every one of her screams.
Yes. Then quickly goes to a phone booth to replay the scream at the event.
Yeah,
on the Hollywood
for
Hotline.
Diane.
Yeah, and so now it's like, okay, now he's got a plan and we kind of understand what he's doing. He has to get someone every hour on the hour. And he has a second victim.
Meanwhile, Diane had called in the cops. And the cops initially don't believe her. They're just like, whoa, lady, you people always like, you don't want our help. And then all of a sudden you stir up all this crazy drama. It's all your fault that this is happening.
The you people are the punk rockers.
Yeah, you people. And she's like, whoa, that was uncalled for. Anyway, once the first victim is found by the cops, like, okay, we'll take you seriously. Yeah. So we get another victim for the central time zone?
They don't really make it super specific. Would it be Chicago? I guess it would be Chicago,
they say something like, we're on hold with Chicago, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, the Chicago time zone, the central time zone.
Yeah. So our Mr. Evil, he now changes out of his orderly costume. He puts on a fake mustache, a sort of swanky blazer, and has like a little cigarette. And he's heading to it's sort of like a dive bar disco party.
He insinuates it's a swingers bar.
Oh, a swingers bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when he calls the cops, he's like, this one was really swinging. Yeah.
That would make sense with the outfit that he chose, because he does look like a sort of 70s porn stash.
He had a swinger stash
guy
on for sure.
Yeah.
And when he goes to the swingers bar, he encounters Sally and her roommate Lisa. And Sally's this really bubbly young woman. And she's just like, whoa, I hardly ever come to these things. And, I can't just go home with you to Eric Estrada's party without my roommate. So Lisa hops in the car with them. And of course, the Mr. Evil is getting really perturbed because it's almost midnight in the central time zone. He's like, oh man, we're going to be late.
He looks so nervous in the car ride over.
So nervous. And Sally is like, whoa, calm down. It's okay for a few minutes late. I'm always doing transcendental meditation to calm down. And he's like, whatever, lady. So he pulls off on the side of the road near a gas station and he gives Lisa, the roommate, some money and says, go buy the most expensive bottle you can find. I kind of like this character of Lisa. She has a lot of depth for not having said anything. She doesn't have very many lines.
So how does she have depth?
She has like this look of like concern for her roommate, Sally. She's like, okay, fine, I'll go get some champagne. And then as she's leaving and the gas station clerk is counting her money, he's like, thank you so much. You have a great New Year's Eve. And she's like, thank you.
Yeah, there's like that little awkward moment of silence or something. Like they understand each other.
They both look so sad.
Their sadness.
Yeah, they're like, we're alone, basically. Like we have people in our lives, but we're ultimately alone in this world. We get it. Okay, bye. Yeah, it was a really interesting interaction. I wanted more from those people. But while Lisa's in the gas station paying for the champagne, Sally's in the car with Mr. Evil. And Mr. Evil's like, hey, do you want to roll a blunt or like smoke some weed? And she's like, sure. And he pulls out a bag, like a giant Ziploc freezer bag with like a tiny little squib of weed at the bottom.
It looked like it had a part of a Christmas tree in there.
It was a Christmas tree branch in the bag.
Didn't look like weed.
No. And he's like, hey, smell this, Sally. She's like, okay. And she sticks her whole head in the bag and then he suffocates her with the freezer bag.
Yep.
Records it. She dies.
Not only is he's stabbing, he's suffocating people, he's grabbing them in the shower.
Yeah.
And slitting throats. He's kind of a brutal killer.
He's multi-talented. He's not like relying on just one murder weapon here, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then when Lisa comes out of the store, she's like, wait, where's the car? There's Sally's shoe. And then she's kind of led on this little like scavenger hunt to find her friend. She finds one shoe, then she finds another shoe, and then she finds her dress dangling out of the dumpster. And when she opens up the dumpster, there's Mr. Evil with his tiny lighter.
And grabs her.
He grabs her and she dies.
Yeah. Does she die? Does he stab her or something?
We don't see it, but I'm pretty sure she dies.
Well, yeah. Then she's gone. And at this point, the cops are pretty quick to the scene because he's tipping them off the whole time. He's calling them and saying, this is where you should find the body. This is where you're going to find the body.
Yeah.
So what is the deal with this killer? He has a very thought out plan where he has to do something specifically like on the hour, and he seems to get really nervous if his plan strays, and he's leading the cops to where the bodies are.
Because at the moment, it seems like these first few kills are kind of random. Like all he knows is when he wants to kill and where. He doesn't know the person at this point. I'm thinking we're ramping up to one single kill that is meaningful at the very end. But for now, we have random kills in very specific locations.
Okay, so you think that the locations have some sort of meaning towards his motives?
Yes, we have a sanitarium and we have a swingers party.
Okay, all right. Interesting. And the cops are then searching for the body. They open up the dumpster in the back alley only to be jump scared by a little tiny, cute little kitten.
Cute little kitty that doesn't really move its mouth, but still says meow. So cute.
And that's where we paused.
Gotta pause. So we don't get to see our mountain time zone kill yet.
So we might have 2 more. Maybe it's a potato drop kill because Idaho is in mountain time zone.
And really quick, there's a little bit that we kind of glossed over. After the first kill, Blaze calls down to her apartment and wants her son Derek to answer the phone because she's worried. She's like, Derek, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, what about Yvonne? Is she down there? He's like, no, Yvonne's not here. And he's like, Mom, I really have to tell you something. She's like, I'm busy, bye. And he obviously wants to tell her something really important. And she hangs up on him. And so after Mom hangs up on him, he knocks back 3 red pills.
He also has her like pantyhose, like red pantyhose, and he puts it over his head. He stabs himself through the ear, makes like an ear piercing.
Yeah.
But doesn't scream at all. He's just like totally silent.
Yeah. And he's like, you think I'm crazy? Something like that.
Yeah. And then he's like ripping up rose petals.
All the roses that he brought for his mom that she didn't really care about, he's like yanking them off the stems.
So sums up with the sun.
And it's cutting back between him and him watching the TV of his mom dancing.
Yeah. So what's going on?
What's going on with Derek?
What's going on? All right, Aleece, what did we think about the first half of the film? Are you enjoying this?
I am enjoying this. And okay, little tidbit here. When Tony was looking up things for this episode, he said he might have seen a spoiler.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
And it might have been something so basic. So when we make our predictions, I might make a couple of predictions, but I'm going to refrain a little bit because now I think I've been influenced by
the
possible
interweb
spoilers. However, what I should do is I should write down what I saw and then we can discuss it afterwards.
Yes, interesting.
So yeah. So I really liked the scene of the punk rockers in their mosh pit with the camera actually looked like it was getting tousled around in the middle of the mosh pit. That was pretty cool.
There's a guest band. They're like, oh, and Made in Japan is coming up.
With their song Dumb Blondes.
Right. Yeah.
So there's some interesting and fun things that make it feel like it's a party. I like the Hollywood Hotline set, like the party stage.
Yeah.
It is interesting to me that Blaze lives in the apartment complex where the event is. So I'm like, that's a curious location.
That's fun for her. Like, she doesn't really have to do very much. She goes to bed and then wakes up and gets ready in the same location. Like, if you don't have to travel in LA with a car, that's advantageous.
That is true.
So no wonder why when the cops are like, or when one of her managers is like, do you want so-and-so to take over? She's like, no, this is my show. I don't blame her. I mean, people are dying, but she's worked hard for this.
A lot of unanswered questions. Should we get into predictions?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like mine are pretty good this
Let's
time.
get into predictions.
Prediction number 1. Derek, Diane's son, knows who the killer is.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And that's what he wanted to tell her over the phone. He's like, Mom, I have to tell you something. She's like, I'm busy.
There's a killer on the loose.
I feel like he was going to be like, the killer is blah, blah, blah.
If you only listen to me, Mom.
If you only listened to your son who brings you a dozen roses before your big event.
And you just flat out ignored.
Ugh, can't believe it. So rude. So that's my prediction number 1. That Derek knows who the killer is.
Love it.
Okay. Prediction number 2. The mountain time zone kill will be a cop.
Oh.
Because cops are turning a blind eye. Back to the old Saw predictions.
So he's going to go to the precinct?
Not necessarily. There are lots of cops out and about.
Because if the murders are tied to something related to
Locations.
Blaze,
Interesting. Yeah.
maybe there was something that happened with her at a sanitarium, which I'm guessing that has to do with the sun, right? And then, oh, sorry, I shouldn't make any.
I know you're making predictions
Yeah,
here.
but these aren't things that I saw in the thing that I think was spoiled.
Okay.
And actually, I don't even know if it's really, because like the way that the movie is going, it's like they're like, here's the killer. It's this guy, but we don't know who the guy is.
We just know that guy does not like Blaze for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So prediction 1, Derek knows the killer. Prediction 2, the mountain time zone kill will be a cop. And yes, all of these locations and types of people are related. So he kills a nurse at a sanitarium. He kills 2 swinging ladies. And I think the next one's going to be a cop. Whether that's at a precinct or not, I don't know. I just think
In the dumpster, we get another second dumpster kill.
where we cut it off, we saw a cop kind of snooping around, going going around the dumpster, going in like past a chain link fence. So maybe that's where we might get another kill. Who knows? I don't know. Okay, prediction number 3. Yvonne from the beginning is not dead yet. And Diane will have a chance to save her.
Do you think it's going to be like she's on the phone and she has to talk the guy out of murdering her friend?
So I think, okay, so that's my third prediction.
Whopper?
These are all connected. All my predictions are connected. Okay, so for the final kill, the Pacific Standard Time Zone kill, Diane must choose between saving Yvonne, the symbolic friend of her fame, or her son.
It's going to be a Sophie's choice kind of thing.
And the son is like a symbol for like, her blood and her past.
Wow.
So is she going to forget her past and pick Yvonne? Or is she going to forget all her fame and fortune and pick her son?
Yeah. Well, is her son like Macaulay Culkin in The Good Son? Because then it's an easy choice. You pick Yvonne.
He gives her roses. I don't think so. I think poor Derek has some issues that obviously could have been dealt with if Diane was more present in his life.
Choose your friend or your family.
Yeah, but also it's like choose your fame or your past.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you choose like,
what is her past like?
Her past is like, humble origins. She had a partner at one point and they had a kid named Derek and they were a tight-knit little family until Diane decided she wanted to be a swinger. And she said, hey, Richard, I don't want to be just with you for the rest of my life. I want to be swinging around town. And that's why Richard is like, okay, well, I'm just going to go to Palm Springs then.
Palm Springs, isn't that known for being like a swinger?
Swings.
Palm Springs. It's a swinger town if I've ever heard of one.
Yes. So I think that's what's going to be the Pacific Standard Time Zone kill. It's going to be like a choice between Yvonne and Derek. And then my whopper, the killer, aka evil, is Richard. AKA Derek's
What are your
dad.
reasons for that?
So I think, okay, continuing with this whopper of a prediction, not only is the killer Richard, but father and son have kind of planned this together. And that's why Derek is like, Mom, I got to tell you something. I think he's having second thoughts.
Oh.
He's like, I actually don't want to go through with this, Dad. But Dad's hell bent on doing it. He made this whole plan. He's very organized. And once he's on a track, he can't let go. So, and the reason is because they're both sick of being ignored for Diane.
So it's really just a tale of bad parenting.
Bad parenting and jilted husband and son. And they're like, Mom, you're way too successful. And
it is sort of whenever you watch like a music biopic, you always get that moment where it's like their downfall and the fame has kind of gotten to be too much and they ignore their family and all of their relationships crumble and then their manager screws them over and then someone gets shot or something like that.
And you can only imagine for someone like Diane in the 80s, early 80s, like late 70s into the early 80s, she probably didn't get to this place of stardom and fame easily. And the only way for her to do this was to kind of cast aside her family. And now her family's bitter.
Ooh, I like these predictions.
Thank you.
So I was thinking of more of like, what's the motive? Should I say the thing that I saw now that you've said your predictions?
I don't know.
Or should we wait? Maybe I'll wait. I'll wait until after we've seen it. Okay.
Yeah.
And man, sometimes like we've seen movies that have spoiled the ending of a movie on the DVD cover.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Deep Rising.
I love Deep Rising.
Which we just watched.
It's only a partial spoiler.
Sometimes a movie can be spoiled in the cast list, right? If they reveal a character who is like, I don't remember seeing that character in the trailer or the poster or anything like that. Or they sometimes could spoil the movie in like the first word or two of the plot line.
Yeah.
So sometimes, things are inadvertently spoiled. And I think this is the case for this movie. So that's why I'm going to withhold my predictions.
Thank you.
But I like your predictions quite a bit. I like that everything's connected. I am starting to see that, it looks like the locations have significance directly to Blaze,
yes,
to Diane. So it would make sense that this is like a targeted killing that is maybe orchestrated by somebody who she knows. And And they're trying to like get her when she is at the peak of her fame.
Right.
At this Hollywood hotline event.
On New Year's Eve, it's quite a big deal to host a New Year's Eve event.
Yeah. If this is successful, maybe she'll be the next Dick Clark or something like that.
Oh, it's kind of like in The Substance where it's like Margaret Qualley's character, her big thing is to go be on some New Year's Eve event when it strikes midnight, blah, 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 turns into Cinderella and all that stuff. Yeah. So New Year's Eve at midnight is like the pinnacle of anyone's career. If you are getting like worldwide attention at New Year's Eve midnight on New Year's Eve, then you're at your peak.
So the lesson learned here is probably going to be, don't be a bad parent. If you're going to be famous, you also still have to be a mom and a wife and a friend.
Yeah, but
what if all three are in on it? Yvonne's in on it too.
Yvonne's in on it. She's like, you are actually a really bad
And
friend.
Lisa.
And Lisa. She had a lot of depth to her. I want to believe that she's still alive.
Who's the other lady? Sally?
Sally's dead.
Is Sally the roommate or is Sally the lady who was talking about TM, TA, and
Yeah.
Zen?
Sally is the one that's really into transcendental meditation.
Okay, I actually really liked Sally. I thought
Sally
was a
was
really
cute.
cool character.
I liked Sally and Lisa, actually.
Yeah. She would have been a really fun person to hang out with on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and she even told Evil, she's like, I don't come to these things very often. She was kind of offended when he insinuated that, like, of course I would pick you up at that place. She's like, how dare you? You don't know me at all. He is making these snap judgments about people. I feel like if he is Richard, aka the husband/dad, I'm like, where were you? Why did you move off to Palm Springs? Why was it just Blaze's job to raise Derek?
Yeah.
Maybe you could have helped out here.
One question, who is this other guy? You know, the guy in the beginning who's helping?
He's the manager.
The manager, okay.
Yeah.
The manager always has something to do with it as well.
The manager of Whitney Houston, the bodyguard.
Kevin Costner?
No, he wasn't the manager. He was the bodyguard.
Oh.
But Cy, the manager and the bodyguard, he was always looking for Whitney to do like her next gig and didn't care if her life was in peril.
Do you think someone's going to take a bullet for Blaze? Bodyguard style?
I think the whole band of Shadow. All those punks are going to rise up and be like, you can't take down Blaze.
All of the punks, they are going to save the day.
Because the punks are kind of getting a bad name right now. Like all the cops are like, whatever, don't act like you need us when you want us to be here. And these punks are running around town causing havoc.
And violating seatbelt laws.
Violating lots of seatbelt laws and flashing or accepting flashes. I don't know, but it would be nice if the punks like rose up.
All right. Here's to hopefully the punk revolt.
Punk organization.
I am very excited to see the second half of New Year's Evil.
Do you have predictions you want to divulge or no?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I'm just agreeing with all of yours double.
Same goes for you, double. Got
Yes.
it. Okay. So, man, that must have been some spoiler. You basically had the whole thing spoiled for you.
I think so.
Interesting. Oh,
Enough so to where I don't want to say anything, but I'll write down what it is and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay, cool. Man, what a bummer. All right. Well, we will catch you after midnight, everyone.
All right, and we are back. We just finished the second half of New Year's Evil. Aleece, what are your thoughts? We just finished the movie.
Fun. I think I got one thing right. One major.
Fun for your predictions.
Fun for my one prediction that I got right.
Yes. Yeah. So just a quick spoiler warning for this film. We're going to spoil it right now. It was spoiled for me in the cast list. I accidentally looked at IMDb and saw that
Kip
Evil,
Niven,
played by Kip Niven, is Richard Jenkins. What's his last name?
Richard. End of story. He is Richard.
But he does have a last name if you look in IMDb.
But he's basically just Richard, the husband.
Yeah, the husband. Oh, Sullivan. What did I say? Jenkins? Richard Sullivan. And I saw that just very casually browsing through, spoiled in the cast list.
Which
I put
is
two and two together. Although I don't think it was that hard to figure out.
Oh, don't diminish my prediction.
Not that I'm diminishing your predictions.
You just did.
But I had a hankering because I was hankering. That's not the right word. I had an inkling because they were talking about this absent father, and it's just like, okay, where's this guy? Are they gonna talk about him some more?
It's always easy for someone to say, I knew that was gonna happen after the fact.
That's true.
So, I mean, we do that often when we're watching movies. We're like, oh, I knew it. But until you actually sit down halfway through and write your predictions down, no one believes you.
But you got it.
I got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
I think you got most of the predictions. You got that he was going to encounter a cop and possibly kill. He injured 2 cops. He did not actually kill any cops.
Yeah. We stopped where poor Sally and Lisa were killed and thrown in the dumpster. And then 2 cops arrive on the scene and they're led on a little scavenger hunt with like little bloody purse and I think another shoe. And we get one of my favorite shots where we see just the POV of the cop going into a playground and like with just like a flashlight lighting his way. And we see Sally on her knees, kind of erected in this weird kind of creepy position, and she's dead. And then Lisa comes tumbling down the slide. So I thought that was a really cool reveal for us as the audience. Even though we knew they were dead, it was cool for the cops to see.
And I'm thinking, like, when did he have time to do all that?
He's crafty.
Because he also had changed into like a priest garb, right? Who knows what it is? But
he was dressed as a priest and he had some cool, I don't know, glasses on and he had a file in his car.
You thought those were cool?
Yeah. Yeah. He looked like a cool priest. You know, like one of those cool priests.
He didn't look as cool as the punkers.
The punkers? I don't know about the punkers. They were trying too hard. But Kip Niven as the cool priest, I was like, all right, I like where his head's at. He's going on a whole rampage, but in different characters. He's having a fun time.
It was very planned, but then his plan was quickly derailed because some bikers pulled up alongside him.
Well, because he wasn't paying attention. He was looking at his headshot of the nun, who was his next victim. And instead of looking at the road, he ran into a biker. And when you knock over one biker, you know there's a bunch more that are going to come after you.
Yeah.
So they did. They came after him and he had to go seek refuge at some dusk till dawn drive-in theater.
They were showing Blood Feast.
They were showing Blood Feast. That was one of our first movies that we watched together. Blood Feast. And then he's like trying to hide in his car and the bikers are going to find him. So he seeks refuge in the car of this young couple who are heavily petting and boob rubbing. And the guy gets out, but the poor girl is trying to button her blouse and she takes way too long and Evil drives off with her in the back seat.
And we're over there screaming like, just run out. Who cares if your shirt is buttoned up?
She's very proper.
It's dark.
She will only be naked in her car, not outside. But I felt really bad for her. She actually got a little tear in the back seat. She's like, please, mister, let me out here. I'll even let you have your way with me. And that's when Evil's like, you said the magic word. Now I'm going to kill you. You're going to be a great Mountain Standard Time Zone
It's
kill.
quickly becoming apparent what Evil's aim is. It's that he hates all women.
He hates sinning women.
He hates all women.
He hates, at this moment, he hates sinning women. So Jane, the nurse, she left her post. So that's kind of a sin. And then he killed the swinging ladies. They were sinning, living in sin. And the young girl in the backseat of the car was offering her body as, a trade. That's a sin in Evil's eyes. So he's trying to get rid of all these sinful women.
Yeah, he's also being pursued by cops. So while he has this girl in her back seat, he keeps getting thwarted. And it's just like people are interrupting his grand plan of killing every hour on the hour. I mean, I think he got that. He got the biker by default, but he didn't record it.
He didn't record it, so it doesn't count.
But we were watching it, and it's like 5 minutes till the mountain.
It's 5 minutes until it's New Year's in Colorado.
And I was just like, man, he really needs to hurry up.
He was panicking, and then he got thwarted by. You were panicking too. Oh, Tibbet, you should have been his protege. 2 drunken hooligan dudes come out from nowhere, and they're like, "Hoot hoot!" And he has to stop his car. Then our poor girl in the backseat gets to bolt and run towards a stadium, an empty football stadium with some bleachers and she hides. And Evil's like, this is perfect. I know exactly where she is. And he's kind of like cat and mouse chasing her, toying with her and like tapping his little switchblade on the bleachers. And poor girl, she's like crying. And then the cops come and they're like, hey, you, Mr.
And he just leaves. They don't pursue him at all.
Well, they see
I'm glad the girl got away.
I am too. I'm like, oh man, poor girl. It's not her fault. She was just trying to enjoy her movie. Even her boyfriend was being annoying.
Yeah.
She's just like, I'm watching this movie. Can you stop?
Just trying to watch this excellent movie, Blood Feast.
Excellent movie called Blood Feast. Anyway, the girl survives. Meanwhile, Blaze is back at her tower and the main cop lieutenant guy is like, hey, punkers, just so you all know, you have to stay in here. And they're like flipping him off. They're like, whatever,
Boo,
cop.
yes, typical punks.
In the midst of that, Evil makes his way to the high rise and he sees that all the entrances are locked down tight with cops at the entrance. And they're like, no one can come in or out.
Yeah, the cops even know that he's heading there and they seal off all the entrances.
Very smart.
And exits. And they kind of like have figured out what's going on, but he still manages to get through.
Because he hoodwinks that cop and knocks him over the head with a brick and takes his clothes.
Classic.
Sneaks his way in and then changes into like an Evil Knievel garb, like the white and red, like Evil Knievel outfit.
I don't know what you would call that. Like a
swinger outfit.
It's not a swinger outfit. It's like someone who hangs out on the back patio and drinks
like a fancy tracksuit.
Gin and tonic. Yeah, it's a tracksuit.
Okay, I thought that at first too, but then I thought, wait a minute. He's evil. He's trying to look like Evil Knievel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Evil Knievel always had that like white suit with like the red flare, didn't he?
That would explain his little stunt at the end.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. I think he was trying to be Evil Knievel.
I think he's just trying to look like a tracksuit dad who just got back from Palm Springs.
I don't think so.
And for some reason, wearing this either like Jack Lemmon or Richard Nixon mask.
Okay, I think it's
creepy.
Richard Nixon because his name is Richard.
Oh, okay.
So he's Richard Knievel. It was very layered.
I don't think it was.
I think it was more layered.
I'm glad that you got those layers because I don't think anyone else did. Not even the writers or directors.
No, I think he actually was trying, or the director was trying to be kind of layered because we have an Evil Knievel tracksuit and we have the Richard Nixon mask. So he's wearing this and walks into Blaze's room and you're like, oh, he's behind her and he's got the switchblade out. And then she turns around and she's about to scream. He takes off the mask and she's like, Richard.
Always pranking me with that switchblade.
And I was like, yes, my one prediction came true.
And I was like, yep. The thing that was spoiled for me in the cast list.
Yeah. And I was thinking, he's very smooth. He was super charming when she realized it was Richard. He's like, let me go talk to the cop out front. Let him know that I'm in here and that everything's okay. And so he talks to the cop who's very suspicious of him.
Yeah. And I do like that the cops are not dumb cops. They actually have figured things out. They're piecing things together.
Yes.
They're communicating. They're putting two and two together.
Yeah. And the cop was like, well, where were you before? He's like, I was in the bathroom. I didn't want to scare you and come out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. Who let you in? He's like, oh, that manager guy. He's like, okay. So the cop actually does his due diligence and finds the manager and says, did you let this Richard guy in? He's like, no. He's like, I knew it.
Meanwhile, he's over there tinkering with the elevator system, and that is his opportunity to get his wife, which is his ultimate goal, is to kill her on New Year's Eve because he's had a bad year.
He's had a bad year, and what better way to exercise this badness than on doing something bad on New Year's Eve? It's the last opportunity to make up for this bad year.
So he traps her in the elevator. He's like, messing with the switches, and he kind of like puts a wire to the other one, short wires it, and somehow he's able to control the elevator. He's
very good with the wires, and he eventually gets her out of the elevator, chains her up, and then chains her to the undercarriage of the elevator.
Yeah, but not before revealing his motive. So his motive is that he hates all women.
He's like, you women, you're so manipulative. I can't believe anything you say. You're tricky.
I have to ask you for money because you're famous and I'm not.
He's like, I have to ask your friend Yvonne for money from you. And she's like, is Yvonne dead? He's like, yeah, of course she's dead.
And guess what? your son got the role of a lifetime and didn't even use your famous last name.
And I was like, what's her last name? I thought Blaze was her only name.
She has a last name. It's just not revealed.
Blaze.
Oh, Sullivan. It's
Blaze Sullivan. That's boring. You think Sullivan would get him a leg in any door?
Hey, what's up? I'm
Derek Sullivan.
Derek Sullivan. Oh, you must be Blaze's son.
Sullivan's kind of a common last name, I feel like.
But he got the part without using nepotism, which
Yeah.
should have been celebrated, but
And it
Blaze
wasn't.
was too busy
She's
being
busy.
famous,
Climbing that, entertainment ladder.
the mother of all punks. And so that's his reason for wanting to kill not only random women, but also her.
Just
Blaze.
her. Mostly her.
Well, the other thing that was kind of overlooked was the fact that he had previously been a resident of that sanitarium.
Of the sanitarium. They kind of glossed over that. Like, yeah, he used to be a patient there. And I'm like, so Jane must be new because she did not recognize him at all. And also, Blaze never pieced this together thinking like, my husband has suffered episodes of psychosis. Perhaps he could be behind this?
She's
No?
got other things to think about. She's distracted because of her big event.
Why was he in Palm Springs?
I think she just needs to get him away because this guy is a loose cannon.
So after like Evil Knievel,
I think the Evil Knievel reference is not a non-thing.
whatever, I think it is a thing. I think it's a really crucial thing.
Anyway. Please explain why.
Because Evil Knievel represents like this boyhood fantasy of doing anything and being able to like shoot yourself to astronomical proportions, rising to the occasion.
Yes. And the Richard Nixon reference is because he believes wholeheartedly that he's not a crook, even though he is.
He's not a crook, but Blaze is. I don't know.
All right.
So-
now I believe it.
Yeah, he's just like a misinformed, like misguided little boy in a man's body.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Richard ties his wife up to the undercarriage of the elevator and it goes shooting up. And then she sees Yvonne's body in the elevator shaft and she's like, no, Yvonne. Meanwhile, there's a shootout outside the elevator between all the cops and Richard gets away and escapes to the roof. Now they're able to get Blaze safely outside of the elevator shaft and whisked away to the paramedics. The cops follow Richard to the roof of the high rise.
And we think we're going to get some big showdown, but nope. He just chucks himself off the top of the roof.
There kind of there's a big moment. He looks at the cops with his Evil Knievel garb on, and they're like, put the gun down. And he looks at them. He puts his Richard Nixon mask on. He looks super sneaky, and he quotes Hamlet. He says something like, who would put up with the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to? And I'm like, Hamlet? Why is he quoting Hamlet?
Did he say to die, to sleep?
Oh yeah, he said, to die, to sleep no more.
What is that quote even about?
It's about who would put up with all of this mortality if you knew that there was something better after death. If you knew there was like a heaven or something after death, who would put up with all of this, all the slings and arrows and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh and my body are subject to? Who would deal with this? And he's like, basically, I'm not going to deal with it. Boom! Chucked himself over the side, Evil Knievel style, but he died.
Yeah, he did not survive that
He did
stunt.
not survive, but I don't think he wanted to. You know who did want him to? Derek.
Yeah, and the whole time that we're kind of watching this unfold, Derek is still on the sidelines.
It was weird. Okay, there was a random scene where the cops were telling Blaze, they're like, hey, we shut down all the entrances so no one can get in or out. And then we see around the corner, Derek is skulking with his pantyhose still on his head.
Yeah.
But he's put on some dark shades on top so that no one will recognize him.
Yes. So yeah, the phrase like father, like son comes to mind.
And then he sneaks off, but that's all we see of him until the very end after Richard has killed himself. And Derek flings himself on top of Richard's body, takes off his mask, and he's like, oh, daddy.
The cops are like, yeah, that's cool. You could take it.
They're like, sorry, boy. And then they whisk Blaze into the back of the paramedics truck.
With a crowd of people out there, yet nobody notices that he sneaks into the front seat, kills the driver, and now he's driving with the mask
with
on.
the Richard Nixon
They drive
mask
off,
on.
roll credits.
Roll
and
credits.
He's just kind of like looking off all sneaky. Like, all right, what's he going to do?
Yeah.
Is he going to drive her to the hospital?
Probably
Is he
not.
going to kill her?
He's mad. He feels the same way his daddy did.
And we never got the sequel, so we
Never
never,
got the
got to
sequel.
see New Year's Devil. New Year's Devil.
New Year's Devil. New Year's David. David. Yeah. That could have been a great sequel of like a father, son, mommy never loved me.
Yeah, maybe it could have had like a little bit of a Point Break thing where he meets up with other president masked people. And then they go surfing. Meanwhile, he's got mom tied up in the back of the ambulance.
She's still passed
And
out.
then he
She's
gets
waiting for treatment.
injured. So then like they actually do need to go to the ambulance.
So she gets her treatment. The end. Happy ending. All right. As far as my predictions, my first one said that Derek knows who the killer is. It wasn't quite clear if he knew that Daddy was the killer, because at one point when he's in his bedroom, in Blaze's bedroom, and Blaze comes in and he's like, you know what, Mom? I had a surprise for you, but I don't want to anymore. And he storms out all petulantly. And then that's when Richard comes in. So I was like, is the surprise that he knew that Richard was in town, or the surprise that he knew that Richard was the killer?
I want to say he knew that Richard was in town.
Okay.
Yeah. What did they say? The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah. So who knows? I put a question mark next to that one. The next one, Yvonne is not dead yet, and Diane will have to choose between her and her son. That didn't happen.
We didn't get the big Sophie's choice at the end.
We didn't. I did say that the Mountain Time Zone killing would be a cop. It wasn't. He at best knocked one over the head with a brick, but he survived.
Yep.
Yeah. And then my only really good prediction is that, and it was my whopper, that Evil, the killer, is Richard. Father and son planned it together, sick of being ignored.
Yes, sick of being ignored, planned together.
Probably
questionable.
Questionable.
There's no reason to not, like you were just saying, but you never know.
You'll never know. So I got 1 point.
Yeah.
As opposed to Tony's forfeited 0.
His big plan was to kill Mom and then go to a Rose Bowl game.
That was Richard's plan. He's like, I'm going to kill you and then take my son to a football game.
He's like, I'm tired of going to all these punk shows where everyone's trying to get your autograph and then I have to ask you money for a beer.
I have to ask Yvonne money.
Yvonne, hey, Yvonne, can I get money from my wife so I can get a beer?
At first I was thinking, Yvonne, I was thinking, Blaze, why are you ignoring your family? But I'm like, your husband's kind of a loose cannon. No wonder you have to have like a PR person to like dole out money to him. He's untrustworthy.
Yeah.
You set him up with a nice little apartment in Palm Springs, far enough away to not be a nuisance, but he doesn't even appreciate that. I mean, Derek, it is kind of unfortunate. She probably could have given him more attention.
Yeah.
So I do feel kind of bad for him, but he was kind of weird.
Yeah, a weird family. Excellent predictions, by the way.
Thank you.
Excellent predictions.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on this movie? Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Was it to the quality of a Hamlet play?
Yes, because
better
they
than
quoted Hamlet.
They quoted Hamlet, and
Therefore, it was as good as a Hamlet play.
better than Hamlet.
Better. No, Hamlet is flawless.
I would say that this movie was thoroughly entertaining and thoroughly confusing.
Confusing, entertaining. I liked a lot of characters. I liked a lot of moments. I really liked Kip Niven's performance.
That was
He
definitely
was
good.
fun. He was very charismatic, and he, in many shots, reminded me of Clint Eastwood. I'm like, is that Clint Eastwood?
I like the whole character of Blaze, and I also like that they had this sort of like punk rock New Year's Eve angle with the band kind of fueling the soundtrack for the whole thing.
Yeah.
But ultimately, in the end, all of that was very confusing to me.
Nothing came of it, but we did have some really good band scenes and some good mosh pits.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I was entertained.
And the reveal was just like,
The motive was weak. The reveal was fun. And I do like the Evel Knievel Richard Nixon references for no reason
that only you got.
that only I gathered.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say I enjoyed it just because it is a New Year's Eve horror movie, and the only other one I can think of is Terror Train.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I looked on the interweb, and there are others that I haven't heard of or seen, but I would say this one and Terror Train are like top 2 New Year's Eve horror movies.
Yes. And after we watched this film, we did watch a little featurette, some interviews with Kip Niven. And then what was the nurse's name? Nurse Jane?
Taffy O'Connell. She was a hoot. She had a lot of stuff to say. And I was like, I didn't know her part was so big.
She was really just kind of over the moon that she got to make out with Kip Niven.
Yeah.
And she was just saying how like sexy he was and how much that kiss made her like feel things and all of that.
She's like, I felt chemistry. I don't know if he did, but I felt the chemistry.
Sounds like she had a blast.
She had a whale of a time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this little featurette, we had Kip Niven, we had Grant Kramer, who played Derek Sullivan. We had Taffy O'Connell, who played Jane the nurse, who just loved making out, but also having her throat slit. She was giddy, just reminiscing on her throat being slit. And we also had the director of photography speak a little bit, Thomas E. Ackerman. But yeah, they were saying they had a whale of a time. They shot it in 3 weeks, and they had a small budget of $600,000. And they were filming during one of the SAG strikes. And the only reason they were able to keep on filming is because they had signed a contract with the union saying that, or whatever they ended up agreeing on, they would abide by or they would comply with. They just wanted to make their movie. So they're kind of like making this movie contingent upon whatever the union had agreed upon after the strike was over. It was Grant Kramer's first movie, and he was not SAG. He was not in the union. And they had to quickly Taft-Hartley him or get him into the union. I guess they were saying it was a lot of people's firsts. Kip Niven said that it was his first leading role in a film. He was in Earthquake as the seismology student who predicted the earthquake, but no one believed him. I did not remember his role from Earthquake. Roz Kelly, who played Blaze, it was her first feature or her first.
She had done a lot of TV, as we had mentioned. Pinky.
Yeah.
From Happy Days.
The Fonz's girlfriend.
Yeah.
So this was her first leading role. They all had a great time, and everyone was wonderful and nice. And there were, no probs that they disclosed in the featurette. What was your overall feel?
I thought it was entertaining, and I liked the setting of it, but I was overall confused and ultimately disappointed by it.
What?
I mean, there was like it's like one of those things where there's a lot of great elements, but it just doesn't all come together,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It didn't really make sense in many ways, or like the motives, or like how people could get away with certain things, or the timelines of things, which, shouldn't even be a big deal in horror movies, because horror movies are not always known for making a lot of sense.
No.
But I thought there were some pretty cool moments, like the elevator scene was really cool. Blaze is chained up to the elevator. I thought that was shot really well, and also like a really cool stunt. And I'd never seen that sort of thing in a movie before.
And it sounded like in the featurette, Thomas E. Ackerman, the cinematographer, was saying that was a really dangerous shoot, or that was a really dangerous thing to shoot.
It looked dangerous.
Yeah. And I was like, wait, so you're saying that Roz was actually in this elevator shaft as the elevator was rising?
Or a stunt person.
He said that we were in this elevator shaft because he's shooting her. And he said there are really dangerous, heavy counterweights going by them quickly. And it was really dangerous. And I was like, oh my gosh, wait, she was actually there doing this? I'm sure she wasn't the person dangling as the elevator went up. I'm sure that was a stunt person. Yeah. But when you have the close-up of her face and she's screaming and things are whizzing by, it sounded like they were actually in kind of an elevator shaft.
Also, like the climax of the movie, just like Richard just chucking himself off of off the top of the roof
because he's Evel Knievel.
Seemed off. Like it would have been cool if the sort of build up or the climax happened in the space of the Hollywood Hotline, because that space was really cool. And I feel like they'd underutilized the punks. Like, what was the purpose of the punks? There's a lot of things where it just didn't really quite add up. Although individually, there were a lot of really cool elements. So that was my overall feel of the movie. I felt that we'll hear more about in my awards and my ratings.
Well, let's move. With that being said, let's move on to our awards.
All right. So starting with our Axe Award, Aleece, what element of this movie would you get rid of?
You know, I might get rid of. Okay, I was going back and forth between the punk angle and Evil's motive, because even though I did like the punks, I was just like, where are they going with this? And nothing ever came of them. All they did was flip off the police officer and they kept on moshing. I really thought something would happen because they kept harping on the fact that like the lieutenant was talking to Blaze and saying, you people are always trying to cause disorderly stuff. And then when the cops come, or then when something really happens, you want the cops there. And he kept harping on the fact that like it was the punk's fault that these bad things were happening.
Yeah,
it was like
never
their own
added
fault.
up to anything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought maybe it would turn out that the punks were going to save the day instead of just being like rowdy and disorderly.
Yeah, which would have been great.
Would have been cool. But no, there was really no purpose to the punks besides they were cool and they got to mosh at this New Year's Eve party. But yeah, I agree that the motive for Evil did seem kind of weak and it was kind of a letdown. It was just like, I'm mad. I feel emasculated by my successful wife and my son.
He's just like, I've had a bad year, so I decided to kill people.
All you women are manipulative creatures.
One of you insulted me on the way over.
Yeah, so it just felt like kind of a weak motive. So ultimately, I'm getting rid of Evil's motive. I'd be happier if he had no motive. And he's just like, you know what?
He's just clearly insane.
I've been in Palm Springs too long on my own. I'm getting sun drenched and I want to kill you.
I know nothing about their relationship. Well, maybe a little bit. Like she was withholding money. She was giving him an allowance.
Yeah, here's your allowance. You don't have a job.
And honestly, in real life, I think that with famous people, withholding money is the big source of tension. And that's what causes people to, want to kill other people or file lawsuits or whatever.
It would make sense if it was just a money issue because he seemed like he didn't really have a job besides dressing up his characters and running amok. So. Wearing
a dingy mask and everyone was just cool with it. They're like, oh yeah, that's the mask that he wears all the time. Nobody questioned it. Yeah. All right. Very wonderful Axe Award. I gave my Axe Award to the sanitarium angle, especially the depiction of the patients. I know it was 1980 and, people weren't as sophisticated or...
They weren't as sensitive to the the neurodiversities of people and mental health crises.
Yeah. And the fact that it's like all people who are killers or just like there's like the scene where they're sort of moshing around, kind of emulating the punk rockers.
You did make that note that like, oh, the punk rockers are actually dancing very similarly to the patients at the sanitarium. I thought that was interesting.
It's like, is there a comment that's trying to be made here or
that the punkers are insane and should be committed?
Yeah. I don't know. Just that sort of like stereotypical depiction of these people in the sanitarium. I don't even know if they call places like that sanitariums anymore.
I don't think they do.
Everything about that seemed outdated and just needs to be axed. I mean, I know it was 1980, but we're just going to get rid of that.
Just get rid of it. Don't need it.
Don't need it.
Yeah. Tony, what or who gets your first aid kit? This is somebody who was killed that you want to bring back.
I am going to bring back Yvonne because all she did was like, she wanted to get ready for this party. And she was just trying to fix a leak in her shower. Yeah. Right. And she gets killed. Yeah. Because she's the one who Richard had to ask for money.
Yeah.
So
it's not her fault. She was the go-between. She didn't elect that as her job. I actually picked the same person. I also picked Yvonne because I wanted something more to happen with her. And we didn't see her die in the beginning. So I thought, oh, she can't be dead. But then we see her dead, crammed in the elevator shaft. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. Oh,
and she looked like she could have been a cool character to develop. She had a cool style. Yeah. Yeah.
So I picked the same person, Yvonne.
All right. So moving on to our next award, the second kidney, Aleece. What character, alive or dead, gets a spin-off or gets some sort of sequel, prequel, what have you.
I'm giving mine to Nurse Jane because I loved Taffy O'Connell in the featurette. I'm like, you know what? I would love to see more of her as kooky Nurse Jane, just running about town, living her best life, like shirking her duties as a nurse.
She's like, I survived a throat slit.
Yeah, I was not dead.
Slit.
My throat was slit, but it was a flesh wound.
It was just a flesh wound.
And now she's got
I'm
a cool
fine.
story. And she has a really crazy scar. And she's a little bit hardened by the experience, but she's still Nurse Jane. She's still Taffy. Yeah.
Is it like that one TV show, Nurse Jackie?
No, I'm thinking it's more like Planet Terror. She's a seasoned, whiskey swilling, foul-mouthed nurse.
Maybe she lures
Misogynistic men to their end.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like she learned from him, even though he is the type of person that she's preying upon now.
Yes.
Yeah,
very
the
good. I like
irony.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How about yours?
I'm giving my second kidney award to Lisa and Sally, and it's going to be a buddy comedy.
Yeah.
I thought they were a great duo, kind of like a Penn and Teller.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sally does Lisa. Wait, is it?
No, yeah.
Sally does all the talking, and then Lisa does all the reacting, all the emoting without using any words.
You know what? I was thinking at the time, I was like, I would love to see what happens between Lisa and that convenience store clerk. They seemed like they had something.
They had a spark.
They had a spark. I would have loved it if they could have met up again and then gone on a road trip. Like he finds her stumbling around outside and he's like, hey, do you need some help? She's like, yes, I do. And then they're like, let's get out of this town, blow this joint. And they do. So that's my second
Love
kidney.
that. Except Sally's along for the ride too.
No, Sally's gone.
So it's like a me, you, and Dupree kind of thing.
Yeah, Sally's Dupree.
What got your best intestine award for New Year's Evil?
Okay. My best intestines, the best death, I'm going to give to poor swinging Sally, because not only did she get suffocated by a weed bag, but also she had her body dumped into a dumpster and then set up on display in a children's playground that we encountered with just the police flashlights on her.
Did she get like a crown or tiara
He
or
put
something?
the crown on her.
He had a lot of time to like decorate and set up his bodies and change while cops were in pursuit, and I'm pretty sure they were just like moments behind him. So he's a very speedy killer.
I mean, he's very lanky. I feel like he is fast, but he took a lot of care with Sally's body. She had the most like poetic arrangement, I guess. Very well displayed, artistically displayed.
I went with none other than Evel Knievel himself, aka Richard, who chucked himself off the building. And it wasn't even like a big moment. I mean, I guess you could say, yes, he quoted Hamlet and then jumped off, but it's like you knew he was gonna do it. And the cops were even like, don't stop. And then he's like, all right.
He kind of like, he looked back at them, he shrugged and kind of like winked with his mask on and then
like, what are you gonna
jumped
do?
over
Shoot
the
me?
edge. Yeah. He didn't even quote the most famous part from Hamlet's soliloquy. He didn't say to be or not to be. He said a lesser known part. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, that got my most riveting death scene.
Yeah. Very interesting.
And honestly, there weren't that many death scenes in this movie. That we had the nurse, we had Sally and Lisa, and then we had like a biker who was just sort of like shanked.
Just shanked in the movie theater parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was unplanned. Oh, and then we had Yvonne, but that was an off-screen.
Off-screen death.
Yeah. So not too many.
And the paramedic.
The paramedic,
the foot,
also off-screen by the sun.
What gets your silver spleen? That is the second best element of the whole movie.
Okay, I'm giving my silver spleen award to the elevator shaft stunt / scene or shot, because I have never seen that in a horror movie. Someone who's chained up and the killer is trying to basically like squash her to death.
Yeah.
Raise her up all the way to the top floor and then have the elevator shaft come down and like splat her.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty creepy and also like a really cool shot and like a really creative idea for like putting someone in harm.
Did you like Evil's pun? He's like, here's your going away party. Get smashed.
It seemed a little forced.
Yeah, he had a limited amount of time to plan all of this.
Yeah.
I gave my silver spleen to the Hollywood Hotline New Year's Eve party. It looked like a lot of fun. We had some good bands. We had some good moshers.
Yeah.
I did like what Blaze was doing when she was doing her banter. She had like a cool stage presence as this punk rock lady Hollywood Hotline person and dancing with the band members. She was a good host.
Yeah.
So I get to that party.
Yeah, like what's her talk show all about? I want to see more of her talk show.
Sounds fun. And last but not least, who gets or what gets your golden gut, the best element of the entire movie?
My golden gut, just like your silver spleen, goes to Blaze and her punks.
Blaze
so I
and the
know
punks.
that the punkers were not crucial to the story in any way at all. But I really, like you were saying, that party looked fun. That mosh pit scene looked really cool where the camera's in there getting shaken around.
And there were some punkers that were like looking at the camera too. They're like, ha.
Just the whole vibe of being in LA on the Hollywood Strip, or you know what they call the Sunset Strip in the 80s. Yeah. Looked like a lot of fun. Just rolling down the street with like 9 people in a convertible, just kind of like flipping everyone off.
Over. Yeah, why bother?
Looked really fun, yes.
Yeah, my golden gut goes to Kip Niven. I enjoyed his performance. I didn't like his motive, but that's not his fault. And in the featurette, they had initially wanted, when he's calling Blaze on the phone, they wanted him to use one of those devices that tracheotomy patients use to project their voice, or the laryngectomy patients use to vocalize. But when they used it, it had a very monotone sound and they didn't like it. So Kip Niven was like, well, why don't I just use this voice? And he's like, hello, call me evil. And they loved it. So that is attributed to all of Kip Niven. I loved his different costumes. I loved him prancing around or running around town, gaffling up victims and all his different costume choices. I love that he quoted Shakespeare and then jumped off a roof. He was very charismatic. So
he was a charmer. He was a planner. He was very nervous that his plan was kind of off.
Derailing.
Yeah, it was, his timing was off and you could see the nervousness in his face.
Which I appreciate. You don't often see these psycho killers get nervous. They're usually so even keeled, but I like that he had a plan and when it went awry, he was like anxious about it. I'm like, okay, this guy actually has standards as far as killers go.
Yeah.
He's not just willy-nilly psychopathically taking things as they come. He wants like a poetic through line.
That makes no sense.
That makes no sense. And like, why the nun?
It makes sense to him.
Why the nun? We never got to answer why he was going to kill that poor nun.
That's true. Unanswered questions. Yes.
The sanitarium makes sense. The nurse at the sanitarium because he was there. But the nun? What happened to him in his youth? Interesting. All right. Almost done here. Moving on to our blockbuster rating. Tony, is this a staff pick, a main shelfer, a dollar rental, a bargain bin buy and keep, or a back alley dumpster pick?
I'm going to give this a seasonal main shelf. So when we're talking about holiday themed horror movies, it's going to be on the main shelf.
Nice.
Otherwise, it's going in the, what do you call it? The rental.
Dollar rental?
A dollar rental.
Oh, okay. So I'm kind of like right there in the middle. I'm putting it on the main shelf year round. Not in the staff pick, not in the dollar rental. It's just going to stay on the main shelf.
Your main shelf must be very large.
Why?
To put that in the main shelf.
It's not on the staff pick. It's just a main shelf. Main shelves can go on forever.
This is a horror staple, yes. So we're going to need a bigger main shelf.
Yeah. Okay. And lastly, your letterboxed rating. What would you give New Year's Evil?
New Year's Evil is getting a solid 3.
Nice. I am giving this a 3.5 for being one of maybe 2 New Year's Eve themed horror movies that I can think of.
I was going to give this a 2.5, but I gave it a 0.5 bump for the depiction of the punk rockers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to give it a 3, which is like a solidly like, but 3.5 seemed more appropriate because I had a great time. I would watch this again. We do own it. And it gets a little bump just for being in a sub-genre of horror that we don't have very much of. We don't have very many New Year's Eve themed horror movies. And that brings me to my last question, Tony. If it's between New Year's Evil and Terror Train, which one are you going to go with?
Terror Train.
Me too.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. Terror Train makes a little bit more sense.
Well, that was it. That was New Year's Evil. Aleece, were there any lessons that you learned from New Year's Evil?
You know, maybe if you want to be a super goal-oriented woman blazing the way in punk, you might want to be more selective with your partner. Like, I don't know why Diane and Richard or how Diane and Richard got together or how long ago they got together, but they seem like they were always going on different paths. So I feel like she would have been more suited with like a punk rock guy who's also flying by the seat of their pants.
My takeaway, my lesson is that if you are a deranged killer and you have everything planned to the T as far as actually, so here's the thing. It's like, if you're a killer, don't set the bar so high and so strict that you have to kill every hour on the hour, because as soon as one little thing goes wrong, it's going to derail your whole plan and you're going to end up chucking yourself off a building.
Yeah. So have some flexibility in there.
Have a little flexibility. Yes. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Is that he was killing them on the hour, but he was phoning them into the studio after the hour. So I feel like he didn't really have to be so strict with his timeline. It could have just been like, all right, we're in the same hour time frame. Here's my latest kill. Okay, I'm going to change what I learned. I learned not to victim shame, but definitely don't go home with any random person on New Year's Eve, even if they know or have an Eric Estrada hookup. Oldest trick in the book.
Oldest trick in the book. Yeah.
All right. What are your plans for New Year's Eve? And if you're going to watch a New Year's Eve themed horror movie, are you going with New Year's Evil or Terror Train?
Or is there one that we missed?
Did we miss one?
You are going to introduce us to so we could put it on our list.
Yeah.
And watch it and cover it next New Year's Eve.
Next time.
So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching and or listening. Feel free to, what do we say at the end?
Like, subscribe, give us a rating, tell a friend.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Call our hotline once we set up the hotline.
Have a good and safe New Year's Evil.
Happy 2026.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much for watching and or listening. This has been another episode of Got It.